headphones. And if you haven't seen them, they're kind of like the old headphones, except these, you can stretch them out and they don't snap. Just like that. Let me show you one more time. Hang on, give me a second. Okay, watch. Hello my friends, my name is Rick Lax, and today I'm going to teach you all how to stretch out a pair of headphones and then break it in two and then put it back together. We call the trick record, and I have been performing this trick for about a year or two, and I do it in one-on-one settings, maybe for two people, not for large groups, but I do it a lot because it uses something that I carry with me at all times, which is my headphones. So if you're like me, if you carry your headphones around with you, you might find yourself performing this trick a lot. And with that said, let's get started. All right, let's begin by going over the secret setup. This is what you do before you perform the trick, and it only takes a couple of seconds to get the cord into position. So if you've got one of these new pairs of iPhone headphones, it'll have a microphone on it that goes with the right earpiece. And you're going to use this part of the cord for the stretching demonstration because there's a visual anchor on both sides. So when you see these separating, you will see that the cord is in fact stretching, whereas if you tried to do a stretch here, it would just look like you're running your hand down. On this side though, you got the two nice visual anchors, so when these separate, it'll look like it's stretching. So before you begin, you make a loop like that between the microphone and the earpiece, and you hide that between your thumb and your first finger. Like that. Now, if it's too round, if it's too loopy, you can use these fingers to press it down, and that makes it a very fine loop. Now it's more like that as opposed to this. And when it's a flatter loop, just a line loop, then you can show it pretty freely from both sides. So that's the first step. The second step is between your first and your second finger, you take the next earpiece, and then between your next set of fingers, you take the bottom cord, just like that. So between the thumb and the first finger, that's the loop. The next two fingers have the other headpiece, and then the next two fingers have the plug. Then you just hold it by your side like that until you're ready to perform. And you can show it casually, you can talk. And then when you're ready to get going, first you drop the bottom part of the cord, and then you drop the earpiece that you're not going to use, and then you're in position to stretch out the cord. The stretching looks like this. You drape the cord over your thumb like that, and then you pull slowly, and that gives the illusion that the cord is stretching out. Now be careful when you get to the end here, because there might be a little bump, some change in the pattern. So go through that smoothly so you don't have that telltale bump at the end. That's the first part of the trick, the stretching. And now I'm going to teach you how to get into position for the main part of the trick, the breaking and the restoring of the cord. It looks like this. First, you move your left hand down like this, and then you set that down gently. So now you've got that nice arch there between the end with the cord, which is on your left side, and the end with the earpiece, which is on your right side. And then you drop that down. And you keep your fingers separated here. And the reason you do this is to minimize any sort of tangling that can happen at the bottom. If they get really tangled, you'll have to go through and untangle them, which will slow you down. And of course, this is all happening down here real casual, and for all people know, the trick has already ended at this point, so there won't be any heat on you, but still, to keep things smooth, see if you can drop that cord such that they don't get tangled. So I'll show you one more time. You just finish the stretching there, and then you lower that down, and then you drop that straight down. And hopefully then these two ends will stay untangled just like that. And now, I'm going to teach you how to go into the main part of the effect. Okay, now we have reached the main part of the trick, the part where you break the headphones in two and put them back together. And the secret of this trick, I can tell you in 4 words. The secret is they're in your mouth. And what I mean by that is the middle of the headphones, they go in the mouth like this, and then you're forward with your hands like this. And that's why it looks like the headphones are broken. So it was my friend Bizarro who helped figure out how to get the headphones into my mouth to start the trick. I was trying all these convoluted ways of slipping it in with the thumbs like that, and it just looked suspicious and bad. And it was Bizarro who said, why don't you just put the headphones in your mouth and then pretend to take them out? So that's how this trick starts. Big credit to Bizarro. So you've got the headphones here, there's a big loop like that, and you're gonna look down like you wanna roll your sleeves up, and then you're gonna have that second of realization that to roll your sleeves up, you should get the headphones out of the way. So it's just like a tiny thought you have at the very last minute, but that gives you the excuse to put the headphones in your mouth, then roll your sleeves up. It looks like this. You say, hang on a second, just like this. Okay. And that's what it looks like. Another note there that I got from my friend Bob Smith, another great magician, is because the headphones are going in your mouth, if you want to sell the idea that they're not in your mouth, it's good if you can talk while they're in there. And to make that even better, you'll notice when they're in your mouth and the audience knows it, you mumble a little bit. You say, okay, hang on, give me 1 second. Something like that. You just really mumble. Okay, watch. And then, when you have the headphones supposedly out of your mouth, you say very articulately, okay, watch. And the way you're able to articulate cleanly like that is by putting the headphones under your tongue. Now, the actual motion of taking them out looks like this. First, your head is down, and then you come in front of your mouth. Now you're grabbing the headphones, not by the headphones, but just loops like that so it can stay in your mouth and your hands can come forward. Let me show you from the side. See, the hands, they don't actually grip the headphones. They just form loops, and the headphones ride on those loops. So let me show you the whole sequence from the side. It looks like this. You say, okay, hang on, let me show you one more time. Okay, give me a second, hang on. Okay, watch. And from the front, it just looks like you took those headphones out of your mouth. Now, yes, there is going to be a little bit of height discrepancy in the headphones where they should go down to here, and then when you come forward, they're only going to go down to there. No one has noticed this. I've performed the trick a lot. No one has raised a suspicious eyebrow at that point. So that's how you get the headphones in position for the break and the restoration. And next up, we're going to learn how to break those headphones in two and put them back together. We've got the headphones into position, and now it is time to break them apart. The way we break them apart is with a little bit of acting and a little bit of sound. Let's go over the sound first. The breaking sound is created by one thumbnail pressing up against the other and then snapping. So one goes under the other, and then you snap them just like that. Listen again. This was an idea from B. Smith, from Bob Smith. We tried other things. We tried adding little poppy balls and other things that could make the sound, but this is just a great idea because again, it makes the trick totally impromptu. So that's how you get the sound, just one thumbnail pressing up against the other. But what comes before that is the acting. You got to pretend like you're struggling with these headphones, trying to get them apart. And so you do this with the forehead and with the eyebrows, like you're really struggling to get those apart. And as you're struggling up there in the face, that's when you're putting one thumbnail into the other, and then it ends with them breaking apart. Now, because the headphones are already in position, all you have to do to show that they're broken is separate your hands. And I'll show you what that all looks like here. Now, you can see, as the hands separate, I move my thumb and fingers back and forth like that, and that's just to keep the eye busy and the spectator's minds working, just so there's no chance they can take that step back and remember back to when you put the headphones in your mouth. So let's go ahead and do a whole performance up to that point. It looks like this. Hang on, grab my phone here. Okay, look. And now, let's put those headphones back together. Putting the headphones back together has three parts. The first part, your hands are still separated, and you're gonna blow on the headphones. And this is gonna do a couple things. First thing it's gonna do is show your mouth open, which will further take away the idea that the headphones could be in your mouth. So to open your mouth, you can't have the headphones in the front of it there. Once again, they've got to be under your tongue, and that's going to allow you to open your mouth and blow on your hands. So here's what it like that, under your tongue. See, that allows you to blow the headphones with the headphones under your tongue. Next, your hands are going to come closer in towards your mouth, and they're going to come together. And when this happens, you're going to blow on the headphones again, but this time, as you blow, or right before or after, the headphones are actually going to leave your mouth and go to behind your hands. So let me show you this one from the side. So the first blow happens here. The second one looks like this. So you're returning it to behind the hands. And then the third part, you're going to once again show that the headphones are not restored, only now the headphones are secretly hidden behind your thumbs. So before you finally connect them, there's one last quick show. It looks like this. And here, the headphones, they're no longer in your mouth, they're behind your thumbs. Let me show you what that looks like from the back side here. Just like that, you separate the fingers with the headphones behind the thumbs, then you bring the fingers back together, rotate the hands in, and separate. Let me show you one more time. A little separation, bring them back together, rotate forward, and open the hands up. Now, you'll notice when I'm doing this, my thumbs are not perfectly pressed together like this. That's a bit too centered and perfect. It's much better if it doesn't have that symmetry, if it's a little off like that with one thumb behind the other and to the side. That makes it look really casual. Let me show you the difference again. This is if the thumbs are just perfectly together and then restore, it just feels too formal. Whereas if the thumb, one is behind the other and you have that nice space, and then you go to the restoration, that'll really look good. Now, when you do this, you no longer have to have the chords in front of your mouth. I wouldn't take them all the way over there, but it's good if they're just a bit off center, maybe right like that. And now this is further gonna mess the spectators up, because if they imagined anything with the mouth, here you are again showing them separated right before you bring them together. We've got a couple of last tips and tricks for you. The first one is just the thought that you don't have to do these with Apple's headphones. You can really do them with any headphones at all. But if you do have a pair of headphones like this that doesn't have two separate anchors on them, you probably won't want to do that first bit about stretching the headphones out, because even if you do it, I mean, that looks the same as just moving your hand up. But you can still do the second part of the trick just the same. Now, a couple thoughts on that restoration after you've broken the headphones up. Keep your mouth and your face casual after you take the headphones out of them. I know when I first started performing this trick, I was so self-conscious about the mouth that I was doing strange things with my mouth to try to compensate. I'd rip the headphones out, close my mouth really tight, or I'd have an awkward smile. So just remember, when you get to that point where you take them out of the mouth, keep your face as neutral as possible. Another thing with that restoration is when your hands come in, and that happens right before the headphones come out of the mouth and behind the hands, sometimes you can get slack like that. I'm exaggerating, obviously. But the way to minimize the slack is to rotate the hands in a little bit like that before you bring them to your mouth. Let me show you what I mean. Just like that. So again, with no rotation, that's the danger. But a little bit of rotation, then the hands can come right back, and it's the weight of the headphones that will keep them down and keep them taut. The last thought is, if you don't wear a, nope, the microphone is on the shirt, if I take the shirt off, you're all gonna be. If you don't have a long sleeve shirt, you can still do the trick just fine, but instead of pausing to roll your sleeves up as the excuse to get the cord in your mouth, use the excuse of just wanting to dry your hands off, rub your hands against your shirt or against your pants like that. That's a normal thing to do if you're gonna show someone something cool, a little magic trick. So that would look like this. You'd say, hang on now. Okay, watch. And you would go from there. I'd just like to close by once again thanking all the magicians who have helped me with this trick. There was Bizarro and Bob Smith, who we mentioned, but also my friends Justin Flom and Kaylin Morelli. They both had really good notes for this. And I always love just working with these guys, collaborating, and I think the tricks, the end result, is so much better if you have some magician friends who you can work with. So thanks to all of them. And now I pass the collaboration on to you, and I hope at least one of you will have some really good idea, and it'll come to you late at night, and then you'll send me a note on Facebook telling me what the idea is, so I can incorporate your idea into my trick. But if you are on the other end of that and you've bought the download and you have any questions about it, as always, feel free to ask me. We're probably already friends on Facebook, but if we're not, go ahead, send me a Facebook friendship request, and good luck with it. I hope you like it. I'll also say that if you do like this trick, you might like some of the other tricks I put out with Theory 11. The most similar one is a balloon trick called detach. And that's a trick where you have a balloon and you rip the nozzle off the balloon and you can see it is completely separated, much like this trick here, and then you put it back together. And same thing with this trick. This trick uses one pair of headphones. That trick really does just use one balloon. And if you watch the trailer, you'll see it's a totally different method. But if you like the idea of breaking something and restoring it without any extra pieces or gimmicks, you might like detach. If you're a coin person, you might like my trick filter, which is a trick that lets you put 3 quarters through the bottom and the side of the drinking glass. You just toss them right in. Also, we've got a trick called high rise. That's a card control where a card goes in the middle of the deck, jumps right to the top. And then lastly, there's a card trick called vertigo, where a card box balances on the edge of a deck of cards, and then the deck of cards balances on the card box. So if you liked this one and you liked my teaching, you might like those two. And if you didn't like it, well, it's been swell knowing you. Thanks again. See ya.